What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to vinyl wrap this door handle right here. It's 2 pieces using TeckWrap satin metallic burnt maroon. This is the color. It's beautiful. You can see it on the car behind me. It's coming along really nicely. You're going to need a few things to do this. We're going to get right into it. We are going to most likely want to remove the door handle. As you can see, I have mine off. I have some 70% isopropyl alcohol, clean microfiber cloth, heat gun, a blade, and some tucking tools. That's about it. You don't need a whole lot to do this. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna zoom the camera in to give you guys the best possible view on how to do this. All right, first off, we're going to prep the handle. I'll wrap this part first, I'll wrap this part second. Doesn't really matter which order you do it in. We're going to, I like to try to balance the handle just like that, but it's gonna move anyways. I'm gonna spray the microfiber cloth down with some isopropyl alcohol. This door handle is going to require a piece on the back. Just giving you a heads up. I like to put that piece on the back after, not before. I'll explain in a moment why. So we're gonna clean this up really nicely. Let's get all in here. Make sure it's super clean. It's very important. Door handles are a high point of chance of failure. So high chance of failure, and we wanna make sure that we are basically eliminating the chances of the handle failing. Why is door handle a high chance of failure? Well, for one, people grab it all the time. That's going to up the chance of failure. I don't know what that little black mark is. Looks like something hit it. It won't come off. Anyways, I'm not sure if anyone can see that. But yes, people grab it. And on top of that, it's a very small area with a heavy compound curve. I'm going to use this piece of vinyl. It's about the same length, okay? It's a little bit wide, so I'm actually going to, I can trim some of that off. Let's do that anyways. Doesn't need to be that wide. I like it to be more appropriately sized. And as you can see, we don't have to wrap the inside of the handle because it's black textured plastic. Don't wrap that part. I have my heat gun sitting right here. Bring that forward. And I'm gonna end up turning this heat gun on right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-stretch the vinyl. Let's bring that forward even more so we get it all on camera. I'll pre-stretch the vinyl. And what that means is I'm going to be stretching it in about this area right here, which this area is then going to land on the very nose of the handle, on the very front. You'll see. May have to watch this a few times to get it. Let's wave our film right over top. And I'm gonna heat the whole piece, but mainly my stretch is coming from the very front. Let's stretch that out a bit, and let's get it hooked in on the very front of the nose and not slip like that. So let's do that one more time. It's okay, I lost my grip. And that's okay, the vinyl's not toast or anything like that. It's not in bad shape. I'm just gonna add a little more heat to that again and do the same thing. I'm gonna stretch that out again, and I'm gonna hook that front edge in and pull it nice and tight towards the back. And you want to try to do this in as few passes as possible. Now, what I'm looking for first off, and I'll leave the heat gun running because I need the heat to show you, is I need this area right here to be smooth on the very front of the handle. If it's wrinkles, that's bad. It's not bad. I can actually fix this by pulling it a little bit along the edge, like across this way. And then same thing over here. Now I have one wrinkle right there. It's actually not that bad. And I have almost none on the front. Good sign. That's what you want. You want it to be as smooth and as rounded as possible. This one over here, I'm going to lead across the handle this way. Now, one thing you might notice is that the film has already wrapped itself down and around this edge here. That's great, we want that. I'm gonna lift the film up first off and get these big wrinkles out. We have 2. Let's try to do one side at a time. Perfect, that's 1. And I can just turn this off for now. Let's grab this side right here. And this will be 2. Cool. Okay, I'm not gonna mess around with the back area yet. We're going to focus on the nose of the handle. Let's add heat again. Let's see what happens. Okay, it shrinks down. This is amazing. What does that mean? Well, it means the film is actually just wrapping itself down and around the handle. Now I'm gonna actually lift the film up just past this corner right here. Watch. And I'm going to heat again. And that should help some of that free or extra material I have right here tighten up a bit. Let's see what happens when I bring this out to the side. Let's check it out now. Much better, okay? Much better. Let's go on this side. This side ended up being a little bit better. I'm not sure why, it's just the way I pulled the film. It wasn't 100% even on both sides. So let's add a little bit of heat there. You can see the film is just pulling itself tightly down and around the handle. So all we have to do here is lead the film up to the top edge as smooth as possible, barely stretching this size, like 0.5% or so, like nothing. Great. Let's heat around the nose. Let's make sure that's all good. Awesome. Now, you saw a little bit of wisp of smoke there. Sometimes I heat the handle a lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pull, it's actually not that bad, but I want to have the film wrap around the back area of the handle more than that. Why? Because I want my film to, I want the piece that I'm going to put in afterwards to not show. So I want to pull the film, putting my thumb right here on the very top. I'm going to put my thumb right there, and I'm going to, you don't even need the heat gun for this, I'm going to stretch that film down and around and over. I'm trying to move the handle in various ways to show you what's happening. So I added quite a bit of pressure here and tension. If you put too much pressure and tension, you'll distort the film. We don't want that. Let's see what happens. Now you can see the film is kind of curling around this back area of the handle. It has more of a natural roll to that edge. It's great. You want that. That's what I was looking for. The more the better, but keep in mind that you might end up stretching too far down to that edge there and it might pull back, so you don't want that either. We're going to do exactly the same thing to this edge. I'm going to pull that vinyl up just past that corner. Probably don't even need any heat. And I'm just going to apply pressure with my thumb and stretch that vinyl down and around right to that corner right there. Let's check out both sides now. So let's add heat to the area. Let's fix that up right there, right here. Great, look at that. The other side wrapped down and around even better. As you can see right there, it's very much wrapped around that opposite side. Now we are going to cut on the handle, just letting you know. So you're like, oh my God, okay. You have to be careful when you do this. It's very common to cut on the handle when you're cutting that area out. We're going to heat the rest of it. We're going to make sure everything's, as tension-free as possible. I'm going to lift that corner up right there, so make sure that's all good. Again, let's go over here. Let's see what's happening on this side. I'll sit back down. I like to stand, I don't think anymore. Great. Just get that out of the way. So everything looks super. Let's lift that off of this area on the front. That's the little bit more of a tricky spot because that plastic gets in your way right there. This plastic piece right here. You can separate this insert from the handle on this particular handle. On most that have it, you can. So just letting you know, if you really want to go to that extent, you can. And we're just going to make sure that we're wrapped slightly around the underside edge here, and we're going to hit that with some more heat. You can use a squeegee for this. I'm just using my finger. And I'm not even adding heat to do this. So let's do the first cut, which will be right here. I'm going to try to stay out of your way and see at the same time. Right around there. Nice sharp blade will make it less likely for you to pierce the film actually. So that's not a sharp blade. I didn't realize that I needed to snap one off. Let's grab, let's do this. There we go. I'm gonna keep a blade box. I just don't have it on me. I'll get it out of the way. So let's do this again. I don't like double cutting because then we're more likely to pierce the film all the way through. But I'm trying to keep my knife exactly on that same spot. Okay, that should be better there. Cool. Let's go here. And let's come up and meet that area over there. Right around here. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want to have a lot of wrinkles, but you do want it to wrap around that backside, and you pretty much don't want any wrinkles. But your cut doesn't have to be that straight, okay? It's not perfectly straight either. You're gonna see what it's gonna look like when I'm done. Okay, so that area is done. We need to push the air out of here, which is super easy to do. It's done now. We'll post heat that afterwards, but I'll just hit it now with some heat in that recess. It's a good idea. Great. Now, let's get into the inner side of the handle. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I can see the edge where the black plastic meets the handle. I don't know if you guys can or not. Try to get that camera as close as possible for you with a zoom. And we're gonna trim this area out. Why am I doing this? Because this is going to separate the tension from these 2 points from this side to this side. That's basically it. I'll do the same on this side. Let's go right through here. And let's come right along here again. Just keep your hands out of the way when you're doing these cuts. Cool. Now that's gonna make things a little bit easier. Let's add heat again. I'm gonna take my heat gun, just move that forward so you can see. There we go. Just add heat. Let's push down into the corner here first on that side. It had some sort of what looked like a wrinkle. There was something underneath. No, picked up something. That's okay. We're good. Picked up a fluff right at the very edge. I'm not sure. I guess it's from the microfiber cloth. Okay, so we're gonna heat this corner over here. You'll see sort of what that fluff looks like under the wrap. It's barely visible. It's like just right there on the cusp of that edge. See how when I heat the film here, it's gone very shiny? So we have to be very careful that we don't do that to the area that's seen. That's okay. It's fine that have to happen on areas that are not seen. And I somewhat recommend it because what you're doing is you're post-heating the film and you're basically killing the memory in the film. And it's almost like, think about that as turning into like a hard, shiny plastic. It's the same thing in that corner. And voila. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to define this edge. I can see it pretty well, but just in case you guys can't, or even on your handle, depends. We're gonna add some heat, and then we're gonna go over this edge just to define it a little bit further. It's gonna show us where we need to run our knife. Same thing on the other side. Let's add the heat again, and let's go into that recess again. Perfect. Let's cut it out here. You can start at one end, and if you need to do this in more than one pass, that's fine. You can do it in like sections, like halfway or whatever. So at that end, so we're gonna come all the way down and come all the way up this side right here. Try not to snap your blade off the very tip of your blade, so try and keep it as balanced as possible. If you snap the tip of your blade off, and you're not going to have that optimally sharp cut. Let's pull that off. Should probably cut that off, just saying. Let's do this side over here now, and same thing. Be very careful when you're doing this cut because obviously we can slip. My hand is extremely close to where I'm holding the handle and where the knife is. But I'm not pushing hard. And it's all about having a nice sharp knife to do this. Okay, so let's go here. Start removing some of that. Oh, I'm just going to tear this end off. I'll show you what we'll do on these ends afterwards. I'm going to put my thumb there just to prevent that from running outwards. Sometimes it can. Definitely don't want that to happen. Okay, so let's add heat now to the very nose of the handle, right here. And just make sure that this is as smooth as possible underneath here and tight, as wrinkle-free as possible, basically. And that the film is not pulling back because we don't want it to pull back. That would be terrible. I'm using my little tucking tool to get kind of in there a little bit. It's a little bit easier than using a squeegee. Now, it may not be 100% smooth underneath, but as long as it's mostly smooth, your handle will look good. You can't see so much under there. Okay, let's do the back two corners over here. Seat that, push that down. And seat that and push that down. Great. Just takes a second with that amount of heat that I have. Okay, right here it folded, so I'm gonna fix that by lifting it up. It's okay, I just have too much vinyl here and it needs a cut and folds. Same thing on this corner here. It becomes very compound when we come around that corner, so the vinyl doesn't like that. and it tends to bunch. We don't want that wrinkle sitting right there, so I'm going to take this and just cut a little slit like that, and now we're good. So now I'm going to trim this away. Right here. There we go. Let's take that little piece over there, and let's do the same thing right here. You don't need a lot of vinyl. As long as you make sure you shrink everything down and post-heat it, you don't need to have a ton of vinyl around your edges. You trust your skill, not necessarily glue in general. It's all about skill. Okay, let's do the remainder of the cut in the front. You can see this little spot right here. I'm just going to point that out. There's a little fluff under the wrap. It came from the cloth. I don't know if I can pick that out or not, but I should have tried before. Yeah, you can see it sort of coming out right now. I don't know how much I'm going to get out of it. How much of it I'm going to get out. It's my handle, so it's for my car. I know no one's going to see that, and I don't care. I'll wrap the car again. Another color eventually. So you can see that I'm starting to pull that out a little bit. It's a bummer. I think I saw the fluff on the table and then, excuse me, I ignored it. This is not good. So now we see what happens because of that. But if I can get a decent amount out, then the vinyl will adhere a little bit better in this area. And I think we're good. It's not bad. I see a very fine couple of fibers, but let's see what happens now. Oh, it's better. It's way better. Okay, so the vinyl's sticking much better in that area now. It's flatter, looks better. All right, that's not always the situation. Let's cut this area out now. So I'm gonna start my cut right around here. And I'm gonna look as closely as I can and try to stay out of your way at the same time. Again, this makes things challenging, but this is to show you guys, and not necessarily for me. I know how to do this already, right? Hopefully we're on camera there. Yeah, we are. Great, and then let's come around. This is the harder part to reach because you need to extend your knife into that area. Again, I'm not trying to murder or kill this vinyl. I'm trying to be gentle but firm enough where I can be able to cut it. All right, so there's the underside. It's not done yet. We do need to heat this, so that's our last step for this piece. All right, and the back piece afterwards. I'll show you the back piece super quick. Let's add some heat to that, especially the nose area. This is, again, the more critical part of the handle. But also, don't forget to do the rest coming around. It's very important. All the way through, under here. This is where people are going to be grabbing, so we want to make sure we get that nice solid post heat in there. Great. This back piece is super easy. I can take the piece that I cut off earlier, actually, and we're going to be using it. So let's put this down in size, and let's take this now and let's just line up. I'm going to line up the top edge just like that. This way I don't have so much to cut. But I still have that top section to cut. See how much nicer that is? And it will actually help hold down your main piece. That's why I like doing this piece last. Not that I'm worried about it, but just in case. Again, this is not an area that anyone's really going to be looking at, but it can be seen. So you do want to wrap this. If you don't wrap this, I would consider it lazy. And you don't want to be that person, because someone will open the door and then they'll see it and they're like, yeah, why didn't he wrap that area? Right, so there's your handle, the main part of the handle. This area right here is basically a shorter section of the front of this main handle. It's actually a little bit wider too, which makes it a little bit easier to do in a sense. Let's just put that over there for now, and let's cut another piece. I don't need a terribly large piece for this. We're gonna go something probably like this. It won't have to be too long, but we have to be careful with this because if we overstretch it, it's going to discolor. And this is a very small area. So I haven't wiped this yet. We have to wipe it. It's a very small area, and if we stretch too much, it's going to show distortion. And again, the same thing, I'm going to put my piece on the back side here afterwards. Let's get those fluffs away this time. Learn my lesson. All right, let's just dry that off. Accelerate that. Won't take long with the heat gun. Great. Let's move that out of the way. We have our piece. I'm going to turn the heat gun back on, and it's going to be nearly the same thing, guys. I'm going to take this, move that forward for you, and just bring that there. Let's wave that over top. Let's give that a bit of stretch after 2 seconds here, just like that. We're going to hook that right on the very nose of it. I call it the nose, you can call it whatever you want. And just keep that as flat as possible. See what I did there? Okay. I don't want to stretch. That's not the best right here, this wrinkle, but I'm going to pull that a little bit that way. Not sure how that even happened, but hey. So let's just check it out. I'm not sure if I like this area. Oh, it's not bad. It's smoother than I thought. I thought it was going to have a lot of tension on it. It doesn't. Okay, so this was actually pretty good. It's very close. Like I'm very close to not making it on this side, but we're gonna be just fine. So you can see the film is very relaxed. I haven't even squeegeed it down yet. It's pretty relaxed all the way through here. And then let's check this side here. It might require a bit of stretching. Let's see. Okay, so it's not perfect. You can see there's a lot of slack. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this slack, and at the same time, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with this handle right here when I went around the corner. I'm do the same thing right now. I'm going to pull the film towards this corner right over here. Oops, and it folded. It's okay. Just lift that back up. Just a bit too much vinyl, that's why. Let's do that again. Pull it right there. There we go. Okay, so let's check here now. It should all be smooth, okay? The edges should always be smooth. Again, this flopped underneath again. Bummer. It's okay. Surprised that happened. Doesn't really happen that often. And it's just silly little things you got to deal with sometimes. Okay, now we're good. Let's check it out. Does it wrap around the backside here a little bit? Yes, it does. Just a bit. Enough for me. Like, see, I'm not stretching it, but I have, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch of a flat area where there's no wrinkles. That's all I need. I don't need more than that. Oops. Let's go over here. Now, I don't have much to grab onto on this side, so this makes things a little bit more challenging. That's okay. I'm not going to add any heat. Again, we're going to take this, stretch it down and around. See the pressure from my thumb? Didn't even add any heat. Watch this now. No wrinkles. It's beautiful, right? The only area I have wrinkles is right there, but those are just at the cusp of the edge, and I can tell there's not a lot of tension there based off of experience. So let's heat that down. And I'm just massaging this down, right? See how I'm not stretching it? Because that means I'm not stretching it past this edge. And it's not going to fail. And it's not going to fail even more, or there's even a lower chance of it failing, because we're also going to be putting a secondary piece over top afterwards. Okay, so you see under the underside here is a lot of wrinkles. It's okay. We're going to be cutting a lot of that off. But let's post-heat this. And let's press firmly like that, just like that. So that like 3 times. All right, let's do some cutting. You can start wherever you want for the most part. It doesn't matter. This one's going to be a little bit closer to the top edge than the last one, especially as we come right around here. So I'm really kind of taking my time and cutting at the very end of that last wrinkle, that far-reaching one. Okay. See how it's not cut through? So I'll show you how we're going to do this. We're going to cut a slit out from here, and then the vinyl should technically tear, as long as I scored it properly or enough, should tear along that line. Yeah, check that out. That's all you need. That's the amount you gotta cut. Let's heat the back side, everything goes down, no wrinkles. Okay, so same thing's gonna happen to this corner as what happened on the other handle, or other part of the handle. So I'm gonna cut that little slit outwards like that. Great. I can now take my knife and we can start cutting the underside out right here. So I don't want to leave any wrinkles behind under here. Not that they could really show, but I just don't like to. And again, be careful. That's just my knife, if you're hearing it, dragging along the actual vinyl. There we go, let's tear it down that. Then go all the way. So I'm gonna stop right there. Let's go a little bit higher up here. Those wrinkles are pretty close to the edge. This is the more critical area. And then the same thing, let's come down here again. If you want to wrap a whole bunch of vinyl around the underside of the handle, you can do it, okay? I'm not gonna say, no, you can't do that. You can do it. If you're concerned about the vinyl failing, you don't have to leave this much, guys. So you can stuff some vinyl around the underside. It's not so much about what it looks like in here, it's just how I like to do it. It's more about how it looks like on the exterior, and as you get better, this will become much easier to make it look like this. All right, that piece is pretty much done. We have just this last little section on the back here. I'm not sure if it's tall enough. It's borderline, it'll do. So I'm gonna cut this down again in size. And this vinyl is not going anywhere forever, basically, until the wraps are removed by me or the next owner of the car. Cool, so line that up as I did before. It's completely tension free. Let's cut out the excess. Great. Let's come around here. I don't know if I scored that one enough. We're gonna see. Yep, just enough. Cool. Even when I'm cutting vinyl on vinyl, I'm still just trying to score the vinyl. I don't want to damage anything. That's it. We're gonna flash this with a bit of heat again, and I'm gonna show you the two pieces. Let's kiss that up with some heat. Burn yourself. Grab heat from the top. You can even give this one heat from the top if you want to. It's not gonna really probably do anything, but just so you don't have to hold it in your hand, because obviously with the heat gun it gets hot. So I'm just trying to balance that. Fan might blow it over. There we go. Okay, there are your pieces, all wrapped up. So that's what it look like. Looks nice, right? Even the other side. Not bad. And then let's take this, show you the back. Voila. And last but not least, the other side. Cool. That's pretty much it for the handle, or both pieces of the handle. Again, that just fits right on the back. Everything's nicely tucked away, cuts are clean, showed you how to do it with zero distortion and zero chance of failure on the handle. Most important, well, the two most important things, no distortion, no chance of failure. If this happens to fail, it'll be most likely because the customer's been, or someone's been grabbing the handle and it may flick it up from an edge. It's probably unlikely. Very rarely does it ever happen for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I look forward to doing more videos for you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.